So, let's talk about one of the most powerful and honestly most overlooked economic forces in the world right now, China's silver-haired economy. It's a fascinating story about demographics, technology, and a quiet revolution that's happening in, of all places, neighborhood corner stores. Let's dig into how it all connects. Okay, when you think about seniors and smartphones, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it that old stereotype? The one that says older people are just kind of bad with technology? But what if that's the wrong way to look at it? What if we've been asking the completely wrong question all along? What if the problem isn't the person, but the technology we've built? Because, that little shift in perspective is unlocking one of the largest untapped markets on the entire planet. Right. You've probably heard about the digital divide, this idea that there's a huge gap with seniors on one side and everyone else on the other. But honestly, this whole image of the technophobe is a massive misconception. It's just a totally outdated idea that really doesn't match reality anymore. Just think about it for a second. Look at this timeline. Someone who's 70 today was only 34 when the first Mac came out. They were 45 when the internet really blew up and went mainstream, and they were in their late 50s when the first iPhone was released. These people aren't strangers to technology. They are, quite literally, the first internet generation. They grew up right alongside it. So the real barriers they face aren't about their ability to learn. Not at all. It's about bad design. Things like having to manage a dozen different super complex passwords, or user interfaces that are just not intuitive at all, and this huge assumption that everybody in the world prefers typing on a tiny screen. These are design failures, not user failures. And this matters everywhere, but nowhere is it a bigger deal than in China. The country is staring down the barrel of a massive demographic shift. The very generation that powered its incredible economic growth is now starting to retire. Take a look at this population chart from 2020. You can see these two huge bulges, right? There's a younger generation in their 30s, and then an even bigger group right around age 50. For the past decade, these two groups were the twin engines of China's economy. But here's the kicker. In China, retirement can start as early as 50. So that massive older generation, they're beginning to leave the workforce. Now let's jump forward to what it's projected to look like in 2045. The whole pyramid just flips upside down. It becomes incredibly top-heavy. The single largest group of people in the entire country will be those over 50. And this isn't just an interesting statistic. It means the biggest and fastest-growing consumer market for the foreseeable future is the elderly. So if you're a big tech company in China, you're looking at this demographic reality and asking a really tough question. When your main market is totally saturated, where on earth do you find new growth? I mean, let's be real. The market for young, tech-savvy internet users in China, it's basically full. We're talking over 940 million users. But the growth rate has slowed to a crawl. The well is pretty much running dry. And that's where our unlikely hero comes in, the ginpatsu, a group often called the silver-haired tribe. This term refers to people over 50, and suddenly they're not an afterthought. They're seen as the absolute key to future growth. So just how big is this market we're talking about? Get ready for this number. It's estimated there are 470 million people over the age of 50 in China. That is just staggering. It's more than the entire population of the United States and Japan combined. This isn't just a market. It is, without a doubt, the last giant market.
Now, to get a piece of this massive pie, tech companies had to completely rip up their old playbook. Instead of trying to force older users to adapt to their technology, they are finally adapting the technology to the user.
So what does that actually look like? Well, for starters, they're prioritizing voice input because, let's face it, tiny keyboards are a pain. Some phones are even making a comeback with physical keyboards. They're also using really simple, clever gamification. And this is my favorite part. There's an app where you tend a little virtual orange tree, and when it finally bears fruit, a real box of fresh oranges shows up at your door. How cool is that? But maybe the most powerful innovation of all is this design philosophy called the Guanhui model. It's built on this idea of caring for your family. It allows, say, a son or daughter to remotely help their parents. They can add a new contact to their mom's phone from hundreds of miles away, or help their dad order groceries. It's using technology to bring families closer together, not push them apart. All of this new thinking has led to what might just be the killer app of the silver economy. It's a business model that's completely transforming e-commerce by making it more local, more social, and just more human. It's called shequ tuan, or community group buying. And the idea behind it is so simple, it's genius. It perfectly merges the convenience of online shopping with the comfort and familiarity of your own neighborhood. Okay, so here's how it works. You pull out your phone, you order your groceries and whatever else you need on an app. Simple enough? Then the platform delivers everything in bulk, not to your house, but to a single spot in your neighborhood, usually a little mom and pop store. Then all you have to do is take a short walk to the shop and pick it up. That's it. Now, just think about the difference this makes, especially for an older person. The old way, a long, tiring walk to a huge supermarket, then lugging heavy bags all the way home. It's exhausting. The new way? It's a short, easy stroll to a familiar place. There's no heavy lifting, and it turns a chore into a chance to say hi to the shop owner and chat with your neighbors. It's not just convenient, it's social. So what we're really seeing here isn't just a clever business model. It's a completely different vision for the future of retail, one that's built on a totally different set of values. You have these two competing philosophies. On one side, you've got the model perfected by giants like Alibaba, which is all about hyper-efficiency, speed, 30-minute delivery, all for young consumers who value time above everything else. And on the other side, you have community group buying, which is all about flexibility, human connection, and the needs of older consumers who value community. There's this fantastic analogy that just sums it all up perfectly. If the big e-commerce platforms are the major arteries of commerce, then community buying is the network of capillaries, delivering goods and connection to every last corner of society. And that's really the heart of it. This is about so much more than just shopping. It's giving those small local shops a brand new purpose in the digital age. It's a high-tech solution that's actually making local, face-to-face communities stronger. Which really leaves us with one final big question. In a world where we see local businesses struggling everywhere, could a model like this, one that blends the best of technology with the strength of community, be the answer to saving the shops in your own neighborhood?